Most reptiles share certain traits with their ancestors from millions of years ago, but over time, they have changed to the point of being physically and genetically different. However, in the case of the Tuatara, the changes are minimal. They are closely related to their ancestors, which allows us to speculate about what these ancestors were like before their extinction. Additionally, rhynchocephalians lived long before the appearance of the great dinosaurs. Tuataras are now found only on the islands near New Zealand. They were once widespread on the North Island of this country, but became extinct there during the time of colonization, leaving them confined to approximately 30 islands around the perimeter of this large island. If you've ever wondered what inspired the episode of The Simpsons where Bart incubates some lizards that then invade Springfield, well, I would suspect it was this reptile, but in reality, it happened the other way around. They're the only living representatives of their own genus, their own family, and even their own order, the Rhynchocephalia, which are believed to have existed since the Mesozoic era. Currently, 2 subspecies are known, both restricted to these islands, though the use of the second subspecies is now obsolete. These modern saurians measure between 23.6 and 27.6 inches, 60 to 70 centimeters, including their tails, and weigh between 14 ounces and 2.2 pounds, 400 grams to 1 kilogram. They have large heads with teeth implanted along the edges of their jaws, small, serrated, and sharp teeth for tearing chunks of flesh from their prey. They are gray, olive green, or, in some cases, brick red, which provides them with camouflage in their environment. They have a row of pointed scales running along their backs, from the nape of their neck to the tip of their tail. Their limbs are robust, with 5 toes partially connected by an interdigital membrane, ending in sharp, strong claws. This allows them to climb and dig holes in the ground, which they use as burrows for protection. The scales on their underside are larger and arranged uniformly, while their backs have granular scales mixed with tubercles. They share a characteristic with other lizards. They use their tails for defensive purposes. They can whip their tails, and when grabbed by the tail, they perform caudal autotomy, meaning the tail detaches and continues to move to distract the predator. They lack external ears, and their skull is diapsid, a trait seen in many animals, including the great dinosaurs. This refers to the presence of 2 arches located in the temporal fenestrae, which makes the skull much lighter. For many people, especially those involved in wildlife, the most interesting feature is the presence of a third eye or pineal eye, which is also found in many vertebrate fossils and in many modern reptiles. This is not a visual organ, but is specialized in photoreception, which regulates circadian rhythms, hormone production, and thermoregulation. This is essential for growth, metabolism activation, and other functions, making them poikilothermic animals that depend directly on the amount of sunlight they receive. During fetal development, this eye is visible, but over time, it becomes covered by the reptile's skin. Although it might seem that the more developed this organ is, the faster everything is in this animal, in reality, it works the opposite way. Their growth and metabolism are very slow, which means this reptile feeds much more slowly than other reptiles of its size. Their reproduction is also slow. Tuataras reach sexual maturity between 10 and 20 years of age, with 12 years being the most common. Females are smaller than males. As with many reptiles, determining their sex requires laparoscopy, which involves handling them or observing their behavior if one has plenty of free time. They form groups in which the male mates with a group of females within his territory, which can range from 118 to 538 square feet, 11 to 50 square meters. Mating usually occurs at night, at the end of summer in this region. In early spring, the female digs a burrow in the ground, located on the edges of cliffs, where she lays 5 to 7 eggs. These eggs undergo an incubation period of 12 to 16 months, one of the longest in the animal kingdom. The sex of the offspring is determined by the ambient temperature. Females reproduce every 2 years. The hatchlings break through the shell with a specialized egg tooth located above their mouth, which disappears as they grow. During incubation, neither parent cares for the eggs, nor do they care for the hatchlings after they emerge. Tuataras have a lifespan of at least 70 years, both in captivity and in the wild, and there are reports of males over 100 years old that can still reproduce. Their high longevity is attributed to their slow metabolism and low body temperatures, capable of withstanding temperatures below 48.2 degrees Fahrenheit, 9 degrees Celsius. This allows them to maintain healthy reproductive cycles and live longer lives due to the effects on their heart rates and metabolism. They are primarily nocturnal, and during the day, they spend most of their time in their burrows or on rocks basking in the sun. At night, they hunt for food, being carnivorous and insectivorous, eating whatever they can catch, such as eggs from some seabirds, though they prefer to eat waders, insects similar to crickets that can measure 4 inches, 10 centimeters, or more. They are preyed upon by some animals, primarily rats, which were introduced and have decimated a large part of their population. However, on the isolated islands, their natural predators are birds, such as the New Zealand falcon, which attacks them while they bask in the sun, or the Pacific marsh harrier, which migrates to nearby islands, such as Australia. The presence of humans in their habitat has significantly reduced their existence on other islands, especially on the North Island of New Zealand. This species is classified as vulnerable, with a population of around 60,000 individuals. However, thanks to efforts in research, education, and legislation, the populations of these species are recovering, although global warming is considered a threat, as it could lead to a higher proportion of offspring being born as a single sex. A positive aspect of tuataras for the local population is the research and funding provided by scientists for this species and its environment. Tuataras are one of the oldest reptiles on the planet, with a slow metabolism and inhabitants of one of the regions with a highly diverse and fascinating ecosystem. This reptile adds to the richness of this biodiversity. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and share it so more people can discover this channel. If you're new, I invite you to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you next time.